In DC, we don't just talk football, we talk culture, we talk pride, and after the 2025 NFL draft, the Commanders, they're talking new beginnings.
So today we're breaking down the draft class the only way we know how.
Yep, we're telling the story from rebuilding the trenches, getting those Hog 2.0 going, to reloading our
Mm.
offensive weapons and redefining the defense.
We'll break down who we're rocking with,
Mm-hmm.
who gets a hard nah, and who we just gotta chill on just for now.
Yes, sir. Plus, we're handing out our draft grades and dropping our next year's headline. Those are our bold predictions that you're not going to want to miss.
You're listening to the On the Fence podcast. Let's get
go.
it.
We'll blaze a trail, raise hell, raise hell. Hell to the Commanders will prevail. Raise hell, raise hell. Hell to the Commanders never fail.
Yeah.
So, Kenny, our Commanders had a pretty good draft. So let's talk about those 5 picks that we were able to pick up through some storylines. So, first storyline I want to bring up is the rebuild of the trenches. What's going on, Kenny? Talk to me about what the team was missing prior to this draft.
Well, the one thing I can say that the team was missing was stability and protection for Jaden Daniels.
Mm-hmm.
Jaden Daniels, as we know, Jedi 5, he's a force multiplier.
Mm-hmm.
He's the reason why our offense was producing at the clip that it did, was because of the fact that he wasn't sitting back there, no shots as some of our previous quarterbacks like Sam Howell. But some guys just stood in the pocket for way too long. But Jaden Daniels, on the other hand, is a different dynamic. He's a different animal. He has the threat, is a dual threat quarterback, a legitimate dual threat quarterback, but at the same time, he gets the ball out of his hands quickly.
Yes, he does.
Okay. And on time. He goes through his reads like this. Okay. Runs through his reads quickly. That's one thing we love about Jaden Daniels, how quickly he surveys the field, gets through his reads. With that being said, he made up, for a lot of deficiencies on the offensive line. Brandon Coleman gave up 9 sacks last year. Okay. So when you look at that, even that statistic alone just tells you we needed to upgrade our offensive line on our bookend tackles.
Mm-hmm.
So the fact that we went out, shored up the offensive line, getting Tunsil, but definitely surely shoring up the offensive line by going out and using our 29th pick on a guy like Josh Connerly Jr., athletic freak. Okay, 8.86 RAS score. All right, as we know, what Adam Peters loved to go after, man. He loves to go after those guys with high RAS scores. Okay, last year Mikey Sanders still had the lowest RAS score, so that tells you enough.
For the viewers, RAS score means raw athletic score. It's a measurement that they use to rate players and their athletic ability. Think of it like a next-gen stat that talks about athletic ability and performance. But I love your take on that, Kenny. I definitely think prior to the draft, we were missing just a little bit more stability in our offensive line. To your point, we did well, but that was because of the force multiplier that Jaden is. This Connerly pick is great for that. I'll be honest. My instant reaction on it was I didn't see it really coming. I didn't think we were going to go tackle, especially with some of the edge rushers and DBs and wide receivers that were still on the board at the time. But hey, it's not my board. It's not your board. It's their board. And they love that guy. Our boy Cliff definitely left a note. We saw that. They're calling him Cliff Notes, as Kenny alluded to in the previous episode. So definitely a great pick. In hindsight, it's really nice to see our team investing in getting the elite O-line, especially with the division that we play in, right? We play in the NFC East, and all of those teams got better this draft, right? Abdul Carter is in our division now. Is it Jahad Campbell is also in our division now, along with my guy from Virginia Tech.
As a rocker.
Yeah, my guy from Virginia Tech, APR, undersized pass rusher, but I personally think might end up being the gem of this draft. So they got some things going on in our division right now, and it's going to be interesting to see that. I got a question for you, Kenny. You think Connerly has potential to be the next Trent Williams, or is he a few bricks short?
Hold on, let's hold our horses. Let's really hold our horses on the Trent Williams comparison. Trent Williams is a bona fide Hall of Famer. I've been hearing it all over social media. People been throwing that out there. He's the next Trent. Oh man, we found Trent. Listen, yes, he's athletic.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, he's gonna be a great book and tackle for us for years to come. Our organization is going to fall in love with the kid. All right. He's still growing. I honestly, I don't know what his true potential is. I really don't. I don't know what that is because he really hasn't even scratched the surface of his potential as of yet. He's only 21 years old. All
Yeah,
right.
it's true.
So he's still a kid. He hasn't even grown into his body yet. All
Mm-hmm.
right. By the time he's 25, you're gonna see a full grown man on that field.
Mm-hmm.
He's still playing. He plays very well. He's very athletic. He played basketball as well. That's why one of the other reasons why he loves the fact that, well, not loves the fact that he believes that he has a balanced approach to his game. We talked about it on 106.7 with Grant Paulson,
Mm-hmm.
and he said he has a balanced approach to his game. But one of the things he believes that he has a leg up on currently is his pass protection, and that's because of his basketball background. Because he's able to stay in front of the defenders.
Mm-hmm.
So due to his quick feet, he was able to pick that up from his basketball background. And mind you, when he came, when he in high school, he played running back, receiver. He didn't
Mm-hmm.
play offensive line. Okay, he played every position, but but offensive line.
Facts.
He became all he. So when you think about that, he's athletically gifted by all means of imagination. So when we say Trent Williams, I get it. It's the easy
Mm-hmm.
comparison to one of our best left tackles, booking left tackles that our franchise has seen, especially in recent days. So I get it. But at the same time, let's hold our horses on the Trent Williams comparison. The kid's gonna be great for us, but I don't know about Trent Williams, Hall of Fame great.
Yeah, I think it's just a little bit too early, but we'll dive in a little bit more on that. I want to move on into the next storyline, which is going to be our weapons for the future. Not only did we go out and get a bookend tackle in this draft, we also added a couple weapons on our offense, namely Jalen Lane as well as our boy Ja'Cory, aka Bill. Those are some additions. We got Jalen Lane out of Virginia Tech in the 4th round, and we got Bill in the 7th round. What do you think those guys are gonna provide for us? How are they gonna change the identity for our offense?
Well, they're the weapons for the future.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I think that our identity, what's missing was explosive plays, versatility,
Mm-hmm.
and depth.
Mm-hmm.
And they provide that.
Mm-hmm. Right
We
about that.
needed depth at the wide receiver position. I know a lot of people are like, well, we have Terry and we have Debo. Debo's on a 1 year deal. Terry, of course, isn't going anywhere, but he's also up in age. And so you got to keep those things in mind. We don't have any depth behind that. Luke McCaffrey, that's still a question mark. So we don't truly have any depth in the wide receiver room. So I love the fact that we went out and got someone that runs a 4.3. Okay, somebody who's going. I mean, he had a 9.57 RAS score. Oh my
Mm-hmm.
gosh, like
Mm-hmm.
kid is amazing, absolutely dynamic. So happy we got some explosive play on the offensive side of the ball.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. I love the explosion in there. Even Ja'Cory Bill, he had I think he ran a
Oh,
4.4 at
four, four,
the
five.
at the pro day that they hosted for their conference, 4.45. So
Mm-hmm.
he got some wheels on him, and he's played in some various systems as well. Like he played in the spread system, he's played in the pro style system. So I think he's gonna fit really well to some of the things that Cliff likes to do. Cliff likes to be no huddle and bring different looks out. Out of 12 personnel, he may run spread, he may run pro style. He just likes to flip it up. So I think having a player with that versatility is really going to be valuable for those. And I do think it's going to help us, kind of keep up with some of that firepower that we have in the NFC East now. We have some really explosive teams now, specifically with the Eagles, right? That's the team with the target to beat right now. So having a guy like that's going to help us combat that defensive line that they have a little bit more with some speed and athleticism. And I really like some of the other value that Jalen Lane provides in the sense that he could be a guy that takes some end rounds. He can get some screens. I think he could be
Mm-hmm.
this year's De'Ami Brown in that sense. So I'm loving that pick. I also love some of the moves we've made in the undrafted free agency realm by bringing in the wide receiver from Louisville. I think that he has a
Mm-hmm.
potential to really add a new element into this. It's crazy that he went undrafted. Shout out to Street Scores. He put out a pretty good video doing a deep dive into some of that. But, the guy didn't perform well, right? But if you look at some of the things like his RAS and all of that, but look at some guys just don't do well in underwear Olympics. It's just not in their DNA. But when you give them pads and a helmet and you ask them to get on that field, they play a whole lot different. So I'm hoping that he can have a bit of an impact and really be one of those weapons that leads us into the future as well. So our last storyline in this segment to close us off, one of my favorite parts of football is the defense. In this draft, we were able to get some new faces on defense. Kenny, how you feeling, man?
Man, I'm feeling good. I'm feeling good. I know some of our fan base, they weren't happy with the fact that we didn't, address the defense um,
Edge
more,
rusher.
I should say, or
Specifically an edge
address
rusher. That's what everybody
edge.
wanted. That's the sexy
Everyone wants
pick,
the
right?
edge.
Yeah, that's a
Every
sexy pick.
everybody wanted the edge. Okay, um, but one of the things I could say is number one, Rome wasn't built in a day.
Absolutely.
All right. And understand that this is just our second year of this regime. And because of the fact that it's not that we're neglecting it, it's like no one's neglecting it. We're not going and making moves based on need and desperation, and that's one of the main things I try to tell people is just trust the process.
Mm-hmm.
We haven't been led wrong yet. Like, what do you mean? The man took us to the NFC Championship. Adam Peters, when I'm saying the man, because it all started with him.
Mm-hmm.
So just trust the process, ladies and gentlemen. Like this is something that I just see it all the time. I'm watching it all through social media. It's everywhere. Everyone's on. When are we? Soon as the draft is over, so we're gonna go get an edge. We're gonna go get an edge. Like, and I'm like, I got like. So we're trading for Trey Hendrickson, right? We're trading for Trey Hendrickson, right? Like,
it's
come
not
on,
Madden.
man. Like,
It's not Madden, y'all. It's not Madden. It's definitely not Madden, and it's okay, to feel that way. As a fan, you're supposed to want the best for your team. You're supposed to want the names. But when I think about some of the best championship teams, those guys that we now talk about weren't household names. They weren't household names until they started winning. I think about those Patriots team. Patriots were grabbing guys who were bagging groceries 2 weeks ago and getting them in the training camp and winning Super Bowls with them.
in the most
You know
out
what I
of them.
mean? So I think that that's really what the approach we're taking. Think about it. AP was with the Patriots during those Super Bowl years. That's when he was starting his career in the front office side of things. So just think about some of those things and the things he may have had, right? It's important to keep that perspective in hand. It's always nice to think about what we want and what we fantasize, but that's not the reality of things. The reality of it was in this draft, we added some guys who are going to bring some swagger. We're going to bring a little bit of leadership, and they're going to add some speed on the second level. And those are all things that we need more of in this defense. If we want to be explosive and be a true competitor year after year, those are some great things to add in some young players. I'm loving the Trey Amos pick. I'm loving the Medrano. I'm loving everything we're doing with our defensive picks on there, and I can't wait to see what we continue to do next. All right, it's time for our next segment. Kenny, take it away.
One of the best parts about living in the DMV is the culture. And let's be real, the slang is top tier.
Yeah, you ain't never lie, Mo. So in honor of that, it's time for our rockin', non-slim, and chill Mo segment where we keep it all the way real about these picks.
So here we go. We're going to talk about who we're rocking with, who gets a slim,
Get that out of here.
and who we chilling on just for now.
All right, Kenny, let's kick off the segment with round one, pick 29, offensive tackle out of Oregon, Nike U, Josh Connerly Jr. You rocking? Is he a non-slim or we chilling on him, Mo?
You know what my answer is. I'm rocking all the way, man. I'm rocking with Josh Connerly
Yeah, me
Jr.
too, bro. I can't even
We
hold
got
you.
We got beef on the O-line. I cannot be mad at that. Never
Mhm.
could be mad at beef on the O-line, man. Did you see what he put in his Twitter? In his Twitter bio.
Yeah, his banner. He put the
His
hogs on
banner, I'm
there.
sorry.
Yeah, he
Excuse
put
me,
the
banner.
hogs on there,
The
man.
Hogs. The
Yeah,
kid gets it.
he does.
The kid absolutely gets it.
Mhm.
That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. What offensive lineman did we draft in the last, I don't know, eon of years since the Hogs? Their first day on the job, they changed their Instagram bio, Twitter bio, any social media, any type of love and appreciation for the Hogs. He gets it. He understands the assignment. I'm rocking with Josh Connerly Jr. That's my guy.
Yeah, bro. I'm not gonna hold you. I'm rocking too. How can you not rock with a guy like that, man? Like he's genuine. He's gonna hold it down for the whole ship. He's he's the future, you know. And granted, I said it
Mhm.
earlier. This pick caught me by surprise, but I like it because the Hogs. We won when we were in our championship eras because of the O line. Look at the team that do it well. Look at the Super Bowl last year. Philly's O line elite. Kansas City's O line, you know what I mean? And it showed up in the play. You saw Patrick Mahomes running for his life the whole night on live TV, right there. Like the whole night.
Mm.
It's crazy. So I'm excited that we got some more beef, like you said. Fred Smith will say the guys who smell like bacon. We got another one in there. And the kid is smart too. I love his IQ. I love the little switch he has in him, man, because he's a very soft-spoken kid. But those are the ones you got to be worried about. Some of the best offensive linemen that I know personally are pretty quiet until things really start to get popping. Shout out my boy Hop. But definitely loving this pick. I'm rocking with it 100%, bro. Let's move on to our next pick. Trey Amos. In the second round, we got a DB out of Ole Miss. Kenny, you rocking? Is he a non-slim or we chilling on him?
Listen, if AP picks him, I'm rocking. Listen, we weren't supposed to get this guy at
Nah, we
61.
weren't.
Most people say this is the biggest steal of the draft. A lot of people have said that. I mean, they said that about a couple of our picks, but this is one of those picks that I think is undoubtedly across the entire, no one expected him to be there at 61. He was on our board. We were considering drafting him on 29. He was going in mock drafts everywhere. That he was going to drop in that range anywhere from 28 to that 32 range. That's where he was going. That's where it looked like he was going. No one expected him to be there at 61. The kid, he reminds me of AJ Terrell. So if we get a version of AJ Terrell, I'm good with that. I mean, that's his player comparison. He's a physical corner, got a strong build, fluid movement, transfer from Alabama to Ole Miss, where he became where he's been a starter, but at the same time, he showed out. Absolutely showed out at Ole Miss this most previous year, and he's exactly what we needed on the outside. He's absolutely what we needed for our defense. So I'm rocking.
Yeah, man. I like the AJ Terrell comparison. Definitely like that on there. I'm rocking too. You know, the main reason why I'm rocking, and I'm gonna go ahead and throw that money on there, is the main reason I'm rocking is he's a defensive scheme fit. He, in my opinion, does what DQ and love at cornerback. Like he's the prototypical DQ cornerback. He's long, he's rangy, he's physical. He likes to play press, and he's actually pretty good in zone coverage as well too. I think the
Yes,
only
he is.
questioning they had on him is when he's tackling a little bit around the line of scrimmage. Sometimes he likes to arm tackle. That's like the real only knock that I saw on there. But that's something that you can fix in technique and just putting a little bit more conditioning and muscle on that frame. We could fix that. So I'm loving what Trey Amos can bring. I love the fact that adding a guy like him, he can potentially be our outside corner, and Mikey can move into the strongest spot, which is inside. Mikey's great on the outside, but he's elite when he's playing the slot. And that's what we want. We want to get our guys playing in their most elite positions. Even though they may be great in other positions, we want to get our guys playing in their elite positions. And I want to see what's going to happen with Lattimore having a full offseason in this program as opposed to coming off of injury in the middle of a season. I feel like I've heard a lot of different people be a little bit hard on him as a result of, are we wasting the pick, this, that, and third. I think the verdict on that isn't out yet. We didn't get him healthy in training camp. We got him in the middle of the season banged up and tried to bring him along. So I want to see what that's going to happen. I think Trey Amos is going to make life a little bit easier out there on those islands that the Commanders are going to be creating with this new defense. All right, let's move on to our next Jalen Lane, wide receiver / punt returner out of Virginia Tech. You rocking? Nah, Slim? Or we chilling on him?
Listen, when it comes to my guy Jalen Lane,
man, you rocking with everything right now, bro.
I'm rocking with it, bro. I mean, how can you bet against AP? How can I not rock with? How can we not Slim or chill Mo, a guy who runs a 4.34? Okay, that this is one of the things I'm going to talk about. A couple of things. Let me just list his profile that I have listed for him. Okay, RAS score 9.57. He's a weapon with the ball in his hands. That's why we drafted him. Explosive, dynamic, dangerous, and open space. One thing to note is the fact that he had poor QB play his senior season and his junior season. His junior season was a little better, but he had the same quarterback. But understand, his quarterback only threw 17 total touchdowns in 2 years.
Wow. Who's his quarterback?
2 years, he had 17 total touchdowns. How many touchdowns do you expect your wide receiver 2 or 3, 1, 2, or 3, or tight end, or running back to have? You can't even spread the wealth.
Didn't he lead? I think he led their team with receptions with 466 yards or something like that.
Thank you.
That's crazy.
Yes, he did.
How are you leading the team with 466 yards? That's crazy.
Come on now. So, and that's what, those are a couple of things I wanted to like go into as far as his statistics. Like he had 30 receptions, 466 yards, and 2 touchdowns, right, in his senior season. So it didn't look like, oh man, like who is this guy? Like, you know, because he had all the measurables, similar to Tyreek Hill, might I say, who got drafted in the 5th round. All right, because he had the same measurables as him. You know, and I'm not saying it's gonna be Tyreek, but I'm just throwing a comparison out there. And Tyreek was a running back converted receiver. Now, this guy is totally under the radar, underrated. In 2023, he had 6 touchdowns, where his quarterback had only thrown you know what that was like half of his touchdowns for that year. So the fact of the matter is, the point I am making here is the kid is extremely underrated. When he was at Middle Tennessee in his sophomore season, he had 69 receptions for 940 yards and 5 touchdowns. He balled out that season, and he was at Middle Tennessee in only his sophomore campaign. He was still growing as a receiver. So he could play all over the field. Okay, he could play outside, he could play inside, he could punt return, he can take kickoffs. He also has a passing touchdown in his collegiate career. So come on, man. He is a little bit raw, but say it again.
Said the kid could do it all.
He can do it all, man. He is a little bit raw and he needs some more polishing as a route runner, but he has elite traits that you cannot teach. The burst, the change of direction, the vision, and open in the open field. You can't teach it. So for me, I'm rocking.
Okay. I like that. And I respect all the reasons that you're rocking. I'm not going to give him a Slim. And I'm not saying that I'm not rocking, because I do really like the kid. But I'm going to have to go ahead and say chill, Mo. This is a chill Mo for me, bro.
And chill, Red.
Yeah, bro. I know. And
I wasn't expecting that. I wasn't expecting that out of you, Red.
I know, man, because you know I like our local guys. If you're pulling guys from the DMV, I told myself I wanted a DMV receiver. I was talking about Ty Felton or Caden.
He models his game after Terry McLaurin.
Bro,
you gonna chill on him?
Those are all the reasons why I am actually rocking with him. The reason why I'm chilling, though, is one, the last point you made about him being raw and being a little bit of a route runner. 2, he's a bit undersized. And you compared him, well, you weren't directly comparing him, but you mentioned him in the likeness of Tyreek Hill. And yes, I know he could potentially be a guy like that, but I'm chilling just because I want to see it happen, bro. I want to see it come to fruition. It's easy to get excited about guys like this, right? You know, I think back on Brandon Banks, even though this guy's a little bit more well put together than Brandon Banks, but like, these short speedster guys, I want to see what's going to happen. And like I said in the last segment, I do feel like in Cliff's offense, he can be featured properly. But I just need to see it come to fruition, because he's playing the NFL now. And he played in a system where he wasn't getting the ball as much as he could have. And in this system, he may get the ball a little bit more. So I want to see what he does with those opportunities. And that's the only reason why I'm chilling on him, bro. Like, I like him a lot, though. 4.3 speed, models the game after Terry McLaurin. What's not to like about the kid? He also gives a lot of upside on the punt return. But I want to chill. I just want to chill. I want to see it happen. I don't want to put the
Understood.
cart in front of the horse. I'm going to chill. But I'm rocking with him. I'm chilling. I'm
I
chilling.
respect it.
Let's go to our next one. Kalin Medrano out of UCLA, 205, round 6. What you thinking, linebacker? What you think about this guy, man?
Before I tell you what I'm gonna give him, I'm gonna let you know how I'm feeling about him. But I just want to read off something. Actually, I thought we drafted. I forgot we didn't have one. We drafted him in the 6th round. RAS score of 9.83. You talk about athletic freak. He's probably the most he's the most athletic player that we drafted. Former wide receiver, turned linebacker, known for his athleticism and versatility, great in coverage. That's one of the main things we've lacked in our linebacker room, and which I believe he'll play that big nickel role in this defense. He did it before. Love the fact that Ken Norton coached him for multiple years, so he understands him through and through. He was a captain. Love that about him. In 2024, he has 72 tackles, 11 tackles for loss, 1.5 sacks, 3 forced fumbles, and 2 picks. And actually, one he returned for a touchdown. So I like all those things. I like about him. I just don't know. Like it's a reason why I gotta chill on him. I gotta chill on him for now. I gotta put him on ice because for some reason, like I love it. Like he was probably the best draft day phone call. The fact that he texted Ken Norton was like, "Yo, come get me." You know what I'm saying? I love that. Like he got that dog in him. I like the kid. I did my due diligence and background on him. It's just the fact that he's a converted wide receiver to linebacker, DB linebacker, safety linebacker, whatever you want to call him. I mean, we say he's a linebacker. So he's converted, right, from receiver. So I do feel he's nowhere near scratch his potential. I mean, he's scratched the surface of his potential. I think he's still growing as a player, especially on defense. I do love the fact that he's great in coverage, but I just don't know how that's going to fit in terms of him, making an impact this year. I think that he could potentially make an impact in year 2 or 3. I believe he can make an impact. I just don't see him as a day one starter. So I still want to chill on him. I do think he'll be excellent in special teams. I do think he'll be an excellent role player right now, but I just don't see him being a key contributor early on in his career.
Okay. All right. I respect that. I can see that, but I feel like some of those reasons that you name are some of the things that might actually get him on the field a little bit. You mentioned being a converted wide receiver, right? When I went and watched his tape, the way he shadows and matches receivers and tight end, honestly, is something that's a bit of a weapon. And teams nowadays love to run a little bit more 11 and 12 personnel. And having a guy like that on the field when teams are in their heavy packages that could still cover and hit, I think that's pretty useful on there. And because of that, I'm going to say I'm rocking with this one, bro. He had the fastest combine time out of any linebacker in this year's draft, like in the 40
He's not a linebacker.
He's converted linebacker. He's kind of like a safety linebacker hybrid. And to some of the points that you mentioned, Ken Norton coached him. Ken Norton is one of the best linebackers of all history type shit, as well as one of the greatest linebacker coaches. And he's in a system with Joe Witt and DQ. And those are the reasons why I'm really rocking. I feel like they do a good job of getting the most out of guys. Look at Dante Fowler. On anybody else's roster, Dante Fowler is probably a 6, maybe 7 sack guy. You put him with DQ, he's hitting 10 to 12. So I think that this is a type of guy that they're going to be able to leverage him. Not quite like Jeremy Chin, but I think he has that type of profile where he's kind of like he could play the linebacker, big nickel, like Kenny said, and he can really make some impact on there. So I agree with you. I don't know how much he's going to get on the field in his rookie year, but I do really like this one. I think he might be a sneaky pick for them, and we'll see how this comes out. But I'm going to say I'm rocking with it for now.
Respect it.
Yes, sir.
I want him to do well.
Yes, sir.
I'm going to put him on chill.
Yeah, I hear that, bro. I'm nothing wrong with that. Let's talk about Bill, Ja'Cory Crossgate Merritt. Let's talk about him to close us out of this segment. I'll go ahead and kick us off on this one. I like this kid. I'm not gonna lie to you. I like this kid a lot. Ja'Cory Crosskey Merritt. I like everything that he brings to the team. I like the fact
That's why
that
he wanted to kick it off, Fan Nation. He loves Bill. So
yeah,
you
nah,
know, go ahead.
Bill's a good one, man. Like I really like that pick. I like his journey, how he's been able to come through. I even saw a news special that they did back in he's from Alabama, I believe. It might be Montgomery, Alabama, and they were celebrating. It was like a smile section, and he was talking about his journey and being out of that town, playing football there, and now being in the NFL. I just really like that character that he has. He seems like he's a hard worker. I even love his phone call where he said he'd got one of them once. But as much as I love all of these great things about Bill, I'm honestly still gonna say chill. To be honest with you, yeah,
Whoa.
bro. I know, man. You didn't see that coming. Yes, I'm chilling on him, and here's the only reason why I'm chilling on Bill. Yeah, bro. I know. I love all of those things about Bill. I'm chilling on Bill because I just want to see him do it in our offense. I know, bro. I want to see him do it in our offense. He had a whole year off, but when he got to the East West Shrine Bowl, he went crazy. And I want to see him be consistent again with those type of performances week in, week out. I want to see him go into training camp and make us forget about guys we love in our running back room, like Chris Rodriguez and Nichols and that other Arizona running back that we went and got last year that people were liking a lot. I want to see that. And that's the only reason why I'm saying I'm chilling on Bill, because you heard the accolades I gave him. You know how much I'm rocking with him, but I'm not trying to get too excited because I want to see him put it into fruition in our system. And I'm confident he will do it. And that's why I'm chilling on it for now, Mo.
Understood. Listen, I respect that. I respect it. I respect it. I respect it. But I'm gonna tell you right now, we giving him Bill getting $2 bills. Bill getting $2 bills.
Hey, go ahead. That's
Listen,
hilarious.
we doubling down on my man Bill. All right,
I hear it.
I'm telling you, it is. I told you earlier, the steal of the draft. This was the other steal of the draft that media pundits have been talking about. This is the one. This is my choice of our steal of the draft. I think he's gonna have probably the most impact outside of Josh Connerly Jr. On our draft class.
Okay.
That is my prediction. I'm telling you, that is my prediction for him. There is no reason why we drafted him at pick 240 freaking 5.
Yeah, it's because he didn't play he didn't play that last season. That's why eligibility
I
reasons.
know the reason is. The point I'm making is that his talent and what he puts on the field, his film don't lie.
The film doesn't lie.
Film don't lie. And even if you just look at his performances, all right, he had one performance in college, and guess who it was? Against his old team, ironically. 13 carries, 106 yards, 1 touchdown in 2024. In the Shrine Bowl, he was the offensive MVP. First game back. The last game he played, he ran for over 100 yards. The next game, he had 11 carries for 97 yards and 2 TDs that he won offensive MVP for in the Shrine Bowl. And you know they're not going to feed him the rock. He only got it 11 times, but averaged 8.3 yards a carry. Come on now.
Yeah.
He ran a 4.45, which would have been 5th. He would have been 5th. And if he ran at his pro day, he didn't run at the combine. He would have been 5th at the combine. He would have been number 1 in vertical jump at 41.5 inches. Bench press 17 reps. That would have been number 4 on the list. Broad jump, number 6 on the list at 10.4. The kid is special. He's explosive. He's powerful. But one of the main things that I feel like we are going to appreciate him for is his biggest asset. And you know what that is, Rab?
Is it his football IQ?
His vision.
His vision is great.
His vision.
He prepared like a starter even when he didn't start, which I love that about him. And that's, the chill is just me being, having to be pragmatic and just saying, I want to see it happen because it all looks good on paper. Todd Gurley looks good on paper. So I just want to see it happen. It can all look good on paper.
I hear what you're saying. It could all look good on paper. And the thing is, but we've seen it already.
Yes, sir.
And the kid, even when he had no idea if he was going to play football in 2024, he prepared like a walk, because he was a walk-on technically.
Consummate
because
professional.
he didn't officially go through the transfer portal because of his eligibility issues. So he had to prepare like he was going to play. So He did everything, went to the meetings, even throughout the season when he knew he wasn't going to be eligible to play. He still practiced. He still went to all the meetings and prepared in the running back room. And like, even though he wasn't even on the freaking team, he knew he wasn't even going to play. And he still prepared like a starter. That's the thing that I'm like, yo, this kid gets it. I like this kid. This is the one that we're going to talk about for years to come. I'm calling him now. I'm rocking.
Yeah. Like I said, I'm not saying I'm not rocking. I really do rock with Bill a lot. You heard the accolades I gave him, but I just want to see it. I just want to see it. That's it.
I
just want
respect
to
it.
see it. That's it. I just want to see it. Ain't nothing wrong with that. I just want to see it. You don't buy a car without test driving it. I just want to see it. Unless it's a Ferrari. I love that segment, man. Definitely a fun little take. Y'all let us know what you think about that segment in the comments. Kenny, your flag is upside down, but I still love the energy. Raise hell. Let's go ahead and switch gears into our next segment of this show, which is going to be the draft grades on there. Let's go ahead and give the team a letter grade on the draft overall. What do you say in there? What worked? What didn't? What's your grade? Did we hit our team needs? How are we feeling?
I really want to give it an A+.
Mm-hmm.
I do. I really do. But I got to give it an A.
Okay.
I got to give it an A because there was a couple of things I wish we were able to do in the draft. I wish we were able to maneuver more. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, if you just look at it, like if you put Marshawn Lynch, if you put Larry Tunsil, Marshawn Lattimore,
shout out Beast Mode
Tunsil, and Debo. And if you put them, on our, like if you put them in third round pick, fifth round pick, that's who they went to. And then you match up all of our players like, okay, we guess we came out pretty good. I think as we did. That would give me an A+. That's an A+ grade right there, if you're looking in that lens. But if I'm looking at it from a lens of like, damn, we didn't get an edge, or I wish we were able to trade back and get more picks. I know our guys are on the board, and I understand that, but I still wish we were able to get some guys that will be impact players for us, and we're able to, still garner a little more draft capital to take advantage of the middle of the draft. Because I felt like there was so much talent. Like, I saw what the Eagles did, man. Howie Roseman is the guy's a wizard. Like, he's him and AP. We got two of the best GMs in the game, and they're gonna battle it out for years to come. So I'm gonna give it an A. So, yeah.
Yeah, I agree a lot with that. I'm gonna go B+, and I'm gonna go B+ only to magnify the reasons that you said. Right, like. The edge rusher thing, yes, I wanted to see that. I really like the kid out of Virginia Tech. I'm going to keep saying that. I really liked him, number 52 out of Virginia Tech, APR. I like that kid a lot. Seeing the Eagles snag him up from right under. I wanted Samson. Definitely, I want to talk to Samson. I wanted Samson, and I didn't get that. And I wanted to see us trade back, and I felt like we had some opportunities. But it's getting the B+, because even though I couldn't give it quite an A, I trust everything that this front office is doing, man. I love how AP and them are following their board. I love our scouts and how he, takes the time to shout out our scouts and mention the things that are going on. And I really think that this draft, even though it wasn't the most sexiest of picks all around, I think it was the draft we needed, though. Going into our second year, I felt like they went in there and they didn't have to force anything. They were able to truly look at their board and say, who's the best player at any given moment? And they were able to take that. And to me, that's where that plus comes from. I should give it an A, but I think the B+ just speaks to some of the fandom in me and wanting to see some other moves that didn't quite develop the way I wanted to see that. But I do trust everything that's going to go on, and that's why I'm giving it a B+. I'm excited for what's to come. As you could tell, I'm not pensive, even though I'm chilling. I'm not pensive. I definitely just want to see it all come to action. I want to see it all come to fruition. And that's when you'll really start to see the joy come out and the elation, because then it'll be fact and not just my projection. So I'm excited about this. I love what they did, and I think a B plus. If I brought home a B plus, my parents would be happy. Um, so I'm with it. So before we move on to our bold predictions for the season and closing remarks, who do you think is going to be your pick for the biggest impact for year one out of this rookie class?
If I had to say who's going to make the biggest impact year one, I got to go with Josh Connerly Jr. I was fighting between Trey Amos and Josh Connerly Jr. as far as like who's going to make the biggest year one impact, like right now. Um, and yeah, so I'm gonna go with Josh because I think Trey, I think he's gonna go through some bumps as a rookie. Just the fact that he's gonna be expected to be on an island on the outside, and there's gonna be some tough number twos he's gonna have to go against, especially in our division.
Mm-hmm.
The likes of Devontae Smith.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's gonna be interesting. It's gonna be interesting just to see what he goes through, and then also eh, knock on whatever wood I could find. Lattimore goes down and he's forced into the number one role. Or does Jonathan Jones, step up and play the role? The point is that's a question mark for me. I feel like with Josh, Connerly Jr., him playing right tackle won't be as much pressure on him. And at the same time, he still can make a significant impact on our offensive line, especially in the quick game. We're going to be able to see him a lot in the quick game when we audible in the screens, the RPOs, the bubble screens, him and Debo, sprinting out, cleaning up a DB, and Debo running right off his ass. I'm excited to see that, and I think he's gonna have the biggest impact.
Okay. Yeah, it's hard not to agree with that. I do think he's going to have a huge impact. Just for the sake of giving a different answer than you, though, as I've been thinking about this, and this might surprise the viewers based off of how I went in the last segment, but I think Jalen Lane might end up having the biggest impact.
Whoa!
Isn't that crazy, though? Isn't that crazy how I did that? I love it, right? Yeah, right. And here's the reason why, right? Not just offensively, I think because he can also make an impact directly in the punt return area. I think that's really going to be why he has a big impact on the team in year one. It's because of the way he may play on special team. And that's why I'm thinking about impact, right? I'm not just thinking, this is going to be the most explosive receiver. Is he going to be getting touchdowns? I think that what he can do in the special team as well with the potential that he has on offense is what's going to make him be a big impact. Because now we're going to have a guy that when you punt that ball, your Gunners better be down there because he can make you miss. Like, I think he's, not to say he is him, but he's on the level of Turpin in that direction as far as the quick.
He breaks a lot of tackles.
He breaks a lot
he's
of
hard to bring down.
He's 190 something, so he's short, but he's a muscle. He's a muscle. Yeah. Like, he's a walking muscle. So that is something about it. I do have my reservations about how refined he's going to be in the offense, but I think his explosion as well as what he can provide in the punt return and special teams game is what's going to allow him to have one of the biggest impacts in year one.
Sign me up.
Oh, man. That's definitely, I'm excited about what's to come. I love this draft class. And I'm going to move us right on into our next segment, which is going to be our bold prediction in the form of a headline. So if you had to give a headline, a 2026 headline about one of our rookies predicting something that they did, what would it be?
I think this is easy. Late round pick turns Camp Darling into surprise starter.
Ooh. Okay.
Late round pick Camp Darling into surprise starter.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. You talking about Bill?
You know what I'm talking about.
Okay.
Talking about number 247. Okay. Double Bill himself.
Hey. Okay. All right.
Yes,
I like it. All right. Not a quarter brick. I think he's going to start. Not a half a brick, the whole brick. Okay.
To elaborate on that headline, I believe he will be a starter. I believe he will be our first and second down back. I truly do. And I'll leave you guys with that. Argue with your mama.
Not me. All right, I like that and I respect that. If I had to give a headline prediction, Washington offensive line anchored by rookie bookend and veteran bookend take Commanders to back-to-back NFC championship. Yep.
Hmm.
Yep.
Hmm. Back to back NFC championships. What
Yep.
about the Super Bowl?
Hey, listen, I'm just saying. I'm just putting it out there, back to back. So
He ain't losing to the
you
Eagles,
gotta
man.
go
Okay,
to the
the Wolves
championship
losing to
in
the
order to go
Eagles,
to the
man.
Super Bowl. You gotta go to the
I ain't
championship.
I ain't trying to hit 55-23 no more,
Ain't
man.
none of that, bro. I'm just saying you got to get to the championship in order to get there, and the championship typically happens in the latter part of the year, and that might be the 2026 headline going into New Year's. It could be how we in that championship and making things rock. That's it. I'm just saying. It doesn't have to say at the end of the season. It's just saying headline coming up. So you got to make it to the championship before you can go to the Super Bowl, and I want to see our offensive line lead us there. Yeah. That's what I'm taking for my bold headline prediction in there. And that's going to bring us to the end of this episode. Fan Nation, thank you. It's always a pleasure when we get to come on here and chop it up with you all. I love this aspect of it, which is you all out there. So please remember to like, comment, subscribe. Tell us about your thoughts. Do you like the flow of this episode? Do you have any picks of your own? What grades would you give our team for this? Who are you rocking with? Who's a non-slim for you? And who you chilling on, Mo? So tell us about all those things. And we love y'all. We'll continue to be here for you all. Keep giving you more and more Commanders news as it comes. Stay tuned to the On Defense podcast. Kenny, you got anything for our fans out there?
Man, you ended that off pretty great, man. Just want to say we love and appreciate you guys. Thank you for continuously rocking with us. We just got the 7,000 followers on Instagram.
Swoop.
We know that might not be the biggest, feat for most people, but at the same time, we're proud. Should we even have fans reach out to us and say congrats on 7K, and we didn't even post anything. It was just, it's just the fact that people were even thinking about us. One fan said it was we're the best podcast, best Commanders page out there to follow. So just hearing that kind of feedback, it definitely warms our heart and just lets us know that we're not doing this for anything, because this is all for you guys.
Yeah.
Like, honestly, truly, like, it's all for you guys. So thank you for rocking with us, and God bless you all sincerely. One person I do want to talk about, since we brought up God, I do want to, give some thoughts to Kyron Lacy and his family. What happened with Kyron was absolutely tragic. And I don't want to go, leave this. This is a draft segment, right? This was supposed to be a day he was supposed to be, drafted, and we could potentially be talking about him as one of these picks. As it was very close to Jaden, very, very close to Jaden. And it's just sad to see. Mental health is very important, guys. It's very, very important. If you don't have a therapist, please seek out one. If you don't have the ability to seek out one, I just talk to somebody. If you're going through any type of mental health issues, or even things that you may, just even maybe things you want to get off your chest, just talk about it to somebody, with someone that you trust. And I just wanted to leave you guys with that, just because it's something that has been dear to me. I've been following it closely, and I can't end this episode without mentioning it, at least on this particular episode, since we're talking about the draft. And so love you guys, and continue to rock with us, and God bless.
Yes, sir. Just to throw that tidbit out there, May is Mental Health Awareness Month. So, to Kenny's point, if you are going through anything, need anything like that, definitely reach out to a therapist if you don't already have one. Talk to your friends and family about it. Take care of your mental. Heck, if you need to, feel free to reach out to the OTF family. We'll do our best to respond and try to be there for you. And make sure you check on your strong friends as well too. So definitely good message on that. God bless you all. God bless Kyron Lacy's family, and you all have a great night. We'll see you. Great night, great afternoon, whatever time you're watching this. We'll see you on the next one. here at the On the Fence podcast. Peace.
Peace.
We'll blaze a trail, raise hell, raise hell. Hell to the commanders will prevail.